In this video, we'll cover shopping cart decrement and remove item. So we have our shopping cart details. So we'll have the button here to decrement and also a button here to remove. Here's our development process. In the first step, we'll add the click handler for the decrement button on the HTML template. Then we'll update the cart details component with the click handler method. Then we'll modify the cart service with the supporting method. And then finally, we'll repeat the process for the remove button. Okay, step one of modifying the cart details component HTML template. So we have our quantity section. We have this FA- button. We saw some of the coding for that in the previous video. Now we'll simply add some event handlers for it. And for the onClick event, we'll call the method decrement quantity and we'll pass in that temp cart item. Okay, step two of updating the cart details component with the click handler method. So here's our method decrement quantity. They pass in the cart item, and then we'll make a call to this.cartservice.decrement quantity, and we pass in the cart item. So in step three, we need to modify our cart service with the supporting method. So in our cartservice.ts, we have this method decrement quantity, and then we simply just decrement it by using minus. And then we check the quantity to see if it's zero. If it's zero, then we'll actually want to remove it from the cart. Else we simply call this.compute cart totals. All right, so a bit more on the remove method. So we'll pass in the cart item. So we basically want to find out where is this cart item in the array, and let's remove it. So the first thing we need to do is get the index of the item in the array. We can make use of this.cartItems find index, and then we pass in the actual expression. So similar to what we did earlier by using other finder methods, here in this example, we're simply finding the index. So we're making use of temp_cart_item.id equals the cart item ID. That'll give us the index and it'll return it. So we have item index. Then if found, let's remove the item from the array at the given index. So if item index is greater than -1, that means it found it. If it didn't find it, the value would be -1. So if item index is greater than -1, then we say this.cartItems.splice the item index, (1). So we're basically removing the item from the array at that given index. The (1) means remove one item from the array. You can have larger numbers if you wanted to, but for our scenario, for our use case, we simply want to remove that one cart item. And then we go ahead and call this.compute cart totals. And that's basically it for the remove. Now, if you'd like to get more details on that splice method, go to the link that I have here on the slide. We'll simply redirect you to the official documentation, and you can read all the details there about the splice method. Alrighty, so in step 4, we have the remove button. So we basically just kind of repeat the process for the remove button. So we have this button here called remove, and then we set up our onClick handler. So we call the method remove, and we pass in temp cart item. And a lot of this coding is very similar to what you've seen before. And so in our cart details component.ts, we have this method remove, and then we make a call to this.cartservice.remove. We pass in the cart item, and we'll simply reuse that method that we just wrote in the previous step for the cart service. So we're pretty much done here as far as the coding for remove button. Alrighty, I'm getting excited. So let's go ahead and move into our IDE and let's get started.